This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just ripped your ass.
This is my idol. You're going to acknowledge me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your SmackDown review. It is the Krisis, throwing up a celebrity shot for Michael Ritter. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. I hope you got your fill yesterday, but you're going to get a fill today as well. I'm pretty sure, because this SmackDown was full of a lot of Lunchable breaks. And if you know me, you know what I mean. So get your Lunchables ready. Get yourself some leftover turkey, some bread, and make yourself a turkey sandwich. And let's dive right into the SmackDown review. I mean, the show starts off right off the bat with Miss Kayla Braxton. And, hey, Carmella may say she's the most beautiful girl in all of WWE, but a fanboy in me comes out 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt. The most beautiful girl in all of WWE is Miss Kayla Braxton, and it's been awesome watching her grow as a character. I don't even know if you call it character, gimmick, journalist, whatever, but what she has grown into is more than just a backstage interview or that sort of thing. Talking smack with her and Paul Heyman, I feel really elevated her career to the next level, and she is just as much an integral part of WWE as anybody else, and to see her involved into storylines in any way, I am all for it, because I mean, she has really come into her own, especially with dealing with Mr. Paul Heyman. And that's how the show starts. Kayla Braxton comes on out, and she's reporting on the rumors that Brock Lesnar, yeah, you can't help but say it that way. You know what I'm saying? He's on his way out. He's not on his way out, but his impending suspension is going to be lifted. And that cues Mr. Paul Heyman and the Tribal Chief to come on down to the ring. And Paul Heyman absolutely roasts Miss Kayla Braxton. She takes it. She takes it on the chin. I mean, he tears her down as a reporter, a journalist, as in just reporting on rumors, and how the Tribal Chief does not deal with rumors. And he basically tells her to get out of the ring, and so him and Roman can cut their promo, and she does. And it was at that moment that I did know that, yeah, for this episode, it was going to center around the Kayla Braxton and Brock Lesnar possible suspension being lifted. Hey, we go on into Mr. Roman Reigns, and he does his thing. He's still cutting promos like nobody's business. I don't put him on MJF level yet, but he is cutting amazing promos, and that's cool, because I remember the day when Roman Reigns could not cut a promo for his life. And we all know the infamous him and John Cena promo where Cena just destroys him. And fast forward to now, Roman Reigns is killing it on the mic. He comes out, he basically explains how he smashed everybody, and how Brock Lesnar is the biggest loser on SmackDown. And then he mentions what's going to happen in the main event. The main event, and I know that this was a Thanksgiving show, so I knew a couple things. I knew that there was going to be a lot of wrestlers, or professional wrestlers that we probably didn't see a lot of. We might have some storylines pause, and then we of course are going to have a food fight at some point, because Vince McMahon just can't help himself. And so that's what I'm saying. Stock up your Lunchables, because this episode has a few Lunchable breaks. Roman Reigns mentions the Black Friday Battle Royal to decide the new number one contender. And I don't like battle royals. I'm going to be honest. I just don't like them. If I want a battle royal of any sort, I watch the Royal Rumble. That's what I like. Starting off with 30 people in a ring to throw them out, and they're already in the ring. It just creates for a really slow, gimmicky match. It really doesn't, come to fruition. Nothing's important until you get down to the last few people. But he basically mentions, how they're going to have this match, and he even gets a little cocky on the mic and says, hey, you could have 4 of them win, and I'll smash all 4 of them. And I actually honestly thought that would be funny. I mean, make Roman eat his own words. If he says let 4 of them win and I'll smash all 4 of them, I'm like, okay, let's let 4 people win and let's see a 5-way match for Roman and see what happens. But we will get to that match because it is the main event. But there was a key thing that Roman Reigns said in his promo. He says, I quote, "When my days are done around here, which could be sooner than later, the whole world will acknowledge me." Is that an Easter egg? Is he gonna be taking a break after he drops his title? Is he gonna take a break while he has the title? I don't know. But hey, most things aren't said without purpose. And that is a line that we should remember down the line and see what if anything comes to fruition about it. After this, we get into the first, in my opinion, lunchable break. It is a tag team match between Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy versus Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. They've been sloppily throwing these 4 together, and really the only person that's really winning out of all of this is Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, I have to agree. I've been watching, every show for a while now, and ever since he changed his music back to his original music, he has been getting some of the biggest pops of the night. Crowd loves Jeff Hardy, and I'm not exactly sure why. Is it just the nostalgia? Because he lost a lot of matches. He hasn't changed his character. He's doing the same moves, the same everything. I'm not saying I'm a Jeff Hardy hater. I've just been really looking forward to an evolution of Jeff Hardy's character at any point. Even if it's going to his dark character known as Willow. And I've done my research, and Willow is a neat character. But Jeff Hardy, Drew McIntyre, they get into it with Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss. Is a real quick match, to be honest with you. Not a lot going on, but it did end with the hometown boy because they were in North Carolina. So Matt Hardy did get the Swanton Bomb, got the win, and of course McIntyre Hardy stand tall. It gives McIntyre TV time, I guess, so to speak, because I don't want him next to the title yet. I know that he's one of the next in line to challenge up to Roman Reigns, but I'm just still not ready for it. It's a lot like Bianca Belair. I'm happy with both of them being away from the title for a little bit. I expect them back in the picture, but really not now. Not now. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, McIntyre held it. But right now, Roman Reigns has it, and Roman Reigns should have it for a while. And there was an article that came out that hinted to the fact that the reason why Brock Lesnar is coming back sooner than he was supposed to is because they don't have anybody to on the roster that could feasibly contend with Roman Reigns. And to that, I say this: Keith Lee. Bray Wyatt, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish. The list goes on and on and on. It's not that they don't have the people to contend with him. It's that they've let them all go. And that's really on WWE. But at the same time, hey, you have a lot of people on your roster now that can still go up against Roman Reigns. And we'll get to that later with the main event. So McIntyre, Hardy, they win. And later on, McIntyre, he actually catches up with Mr. Pierce and explains, hey, I better be in that invitational, that 30-man tag match, or 30-man battle royal. And, Mr. Pierce says, yeah, you should be, but I haven't finalized it yet, and I'll post it in front of my office door when it's done. We'll segue into that later. Next up, you got Cesaro versus Ridge Holland, and I am a fan. I've been a fan of Ridge Holland for a while. For those of you who don't know, Ridge Holland came up from NXT like a year and a half ago. And he got promoted to the main roster, and immediately his very first appearance on Raw, I think it was, he had two guys on either arm, and he was basically bench pressing two guys at the same time, and he blew out both his knees. Fast forward almost 9 months later, he was able to come back, do a small stint in NXT to get back, get the ring rust off, and then still managed to get his promotion to the main roster. He is one that I honestly believe, hey, there's someone that can go against Roman Reigns. Just saying, I know he's a heel, but hey, you have the wrestlers there. I don't think it was 100% necessary to bring Brock Lesnar back, especially to bring him back to lose. Because right now, as it sits, if Brock Lesnar faces Roman Reigns in another match soon and loses, that means Brock Lesnar has come back and lost 3 matches. You can't have him losing all the time. He's not Goldberg. Okay, Goldberg's the one I want to see come back and lose every single time, not Brock Lesnar. And another issue that, let me sidestep here, another issue they're having, and I noticed it when Roman Reigns was cutting his promo, the people that were chanting, Brock, we want Brock, that wasn't because it wasn't a bigger amount of people than the people that were chanting for Roman. It was just people that want to see Brock Lesnar for the nostalgia and whatnot of Brock Lesnar. But Roman Reigns is over. He is over beyond belief. The people, the crowd are cheering him. They're wearing his gear. He is the biggest heel in the business, but he is over. And that's going to create an issue down the line, I think, because, hey, when the crowd's that over, I mean, I don't want him to be babyface. Keep him heel, maybe, put him up against, get people to start believing in him, but believing in him and being such a dominant heel. But as it stands right now, he is getting more cheers than anybody else. And one more sidestep. Today was the first time where I cringed at Mr. Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has been amazing on the mic. He does get a little colorful, a little crazy, but there was something he said which I just thought was unnecessary. It doesn't matter your political views. The bottom line is this: we are watching wrestling. It's a different universe, and there's some things that I just don't want brought in to the wrestling world. And he actually got on the mic, and while the crowd was chanting, "We want Brock, we want Brock," I hear Pat McAfee say, "Are they saying let's go?" And then he pauses. Brandon, under his breath. I don't know if he knew it was on the mic. I don't know if he knew that he was on, but I heard it. My friends heard it. It was really kind of out of pocket, just random. And I'm just, hey, Pat McAfee, make sure you know what's coming out your mouth. And because it didn't sound like that was something that you were trying to say, but we don't need to be bringing any political right-lefts does into professional wrestling. That's just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it because I'm the Krisis, and that's what I do. So my first trash moment of the night was definitely Pat McAfee making reference to the "Let's Go Brandon" chant. No. Trash. Well, back to the story. You get Cesaro defeating Ridge Holland. This is a second lunchable break of the night, not because the performers in the ring weren't going to be good. It was just really that this wasn't a match that really did anything. It didn't really evolve either one into a storyline. It basically just showcased that Ridge Holland can hang with Cesaro, and we already know Cesaro can hang with anybody. Okay, and after this, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. What I did is I watched SmackDown Live, and then this morning I went ahead and skimmed through the Hulu version just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I actually, on the Hulu version, I went ahead and real quickly watch this match. This was my pre-planned lunchable break of the night because I just can't stand it. I can't stand food fights with grown adults on wrestling. I just can't stand it. Even Bleacher Report gave this a D because as big of a fan of Rick Boogs as I am, and I'm a huge Rick Boogs fan, no. no. I know it's Thanksgiving, but watching Nakamura put someone through a table full of Thanksgiving dinner, it's just, I don't care. I really, really don't care. It's just the way it is. And that's what happened. They wrestled. It turns into chaos. Nakamura puts a homeboy through the Thanksgiving dinner table, and yeah, dumb. Who is this entertaining, and why is it entertaining? And it goes into the next segue, because this is where, man, I don't like Thanksgiving episodes, because there's still food ringside, and Miss Charlotte Flair comes out to do an interview, and she gets to, shoot, and talk some trash on Becky Lynch, basically saying that all she could do was win by cheating, and she's everything that she says she is, yada, 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 yada. And then we get, what should be a good moment in Toni Storm coming out. And Toni Storm, I'm excited for Toni Storm. I feel like she's been underutilized. I think she's way better, 50 million times better than Miss Liv Morgan. And so I'm really happy to see her getting into a program with Charlotte Flair. But this really just was pointless, because it really just delved into a whole gimmick of Charlotte Flair putting two cream pies into her face, and she just stood there and took it. Wow, really? So you put that on the back end of Charlotte Flair basically brushing off her loss to Becky Lynch. In my opinion, the women's SmackDown title just went down 2 notches, and I just got 2 more Lunchables in my belly, because that's what keeps me happy when I'm unhappy. Next up, you got Naomi, Sasha Banks versus Natalia and Shayna Baszler, and I've been supporting this storyline of Naomi and oh my goodness, having a brain fart. We have those. Right, Sonya Deville, Naomi and Sonya Deville. I've been really kind of enjoying the longevity of the story, but now I'm to a point like, will you come up with something? Like, will you put something together? Because I'm ready to see Sonya in the ring. You even had backstage before the match, Sasha Banks kind of ripped into Sonya Deville, saying that if she had gotten to pick the teams, they would have won. And, if she didn't have Naomi on the team, she would have won. And, Sonya Deville basically puts that back on Sasha Banks and says, hey, in all reality, I'm the boss and you were the captain and your team lost. Hey, that's fair. So, they come out, they have this match. Naomi comes within inches of making a tag to her partner, late in the match. And then, of course, it gets into what I call flim flam. And it basically, goes into chaos, a bunch of spots between, the boss and, Shayna Baszler, but it does end up with Naomi scoring a victory. And Sonya Deville's ringside, she has to clap along. So, like I said, it's just a story I feel has been stalled for so long. Like, can we get to it now? Like, can I get Miss Sonya Deville back in the ring? Because that's where she belongs, and that's what I want to see. Like, beyond the shadow of a doubt. And at this point, this is where I'm like, I went to the fridge and restocked on Lunchables, because, like I said at the beginning of this, I'm giving them a pass on this episode. I know they didn't have all of their people there. It was going to be a real ho-hum show. And I knew that immediately when I found out there's a 30-person over the top rope battle royal, because that is going to take up. If you take the battle royal and Roman Reigns' promo and his entrance and add that all together, that's half the show. No joke. AEW actually did it as well. They had that on AEW. They had on their show for Wednesday. They actually had a promo and a match that went together and lasted 45 minutes. So it's not just WWE that's doing this. Everybody that's doing, their promotions, they have to still fill the TV time, but some people got to travel for Thanksgiving. Not everybody could be there. So here we go. we're getting into a 30-man over-the-top rope battle royal to determine the new number one contender. And some of the entrants, you had Eric, you had Ivar, you had Drew Gulak, Mace, Angel, Humberto Carrillo, I like this whole name, Sami Zayn, Mansoor, Jinder Mahal, Shanky, Jeff Hardy, Rick Boog, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, and Cesaro. So it wasn't 30 people. I don't know why I keep saying that, but that's all the people there that were in the match. So they start off all together, 18 men. And it's just, like I said, over the top rope battle royals. I mean, it's just really sloppy and it's boring to me. Think of the last battle royal we saw just a week or so ago, or at the pay-per-view, when you saw Otis eating pizza in the middle of a ring with 15 guys around him. I mean, I'm just not with it. So basically, let's just jump all the way forward. I mean, obviously, a lot of these people. I mean, let's see, right off the bat, from that list, really the only people I feel that have a chance to win that legitimate would be, a Ricochet or Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, and maybe Happy Corbin. Everybody else, nah, they don't even have a chance. So, we get towards the end of the match. And basically what happens is earlier in the match, the Viking Raiders are eliminating Los Lotharios, and Sami Zayn falls through the ropes and onto the floor. We know this trick, he disappears early in the match and he never comes back in. And that comes into play later because this is the one moment where they really, at the end of this match, they really swerved the crowd. It was a really fun high and low moment for the crowd because you get down towards the end. Let's see. Let me go ahead and bring up so I can get it exactly right. Let's see. The Celtic Warrior. Okay. So yeah, you got Sheamus. He dumps Ricochet and then eats a Whisper in the Wind by Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy. And after that, the crowd's really getting into the idea that Jeff Hardy might win this. Even me, I've already forgotten that Sami Zayn has been out of the ring for a very long time. And then Hardy, turns the tide. He ends up getting everybody else out, and they actually hit his music as he wins. They announce him as the winner, and as he goes to stand on the turnbuckle, puts his arms in the air. The crowd's cheering, like they are fully in. They are so happy. Oh my goodness, we can see Jeff Hardy versus Roman Reigns. Like, wow. And then Sami Zayn comes on in and pushes him off the turnbuckle, hit Sami Zayn's music. That was the high point for me for the whole show, because I'm a huge Sami Zayn fan. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I actually like the idea of Sami Zayn holding on to this number one contendership. I would love it if he would just savor it and put off the match as long as he can. You can have Roman and Brock fight, Roman and Drew fight, and you could just still have Sami Zayn putting off his match and remain as the number one contender for as long as possible. I mean, he could make it as annoying as being the Money in the Bank carrier. He pushes Hardy off the turnbuckle. His music hits. I'm excited. Sami Zayn's excited. The crowd is booing. Man, they are giving it to him because they are just so mad. They gave him Jeff Hardy for 4 seconds and boom, took him right on out. Absolutely great. But then we get to the ending of the show and, poor Sami Zayn. He cannot catch a break because this is supposed to be his moment. He is the new number one contender. Kayla Braxton comes in to really, to interview him. And like I said before, it was going to come back around. But before she can even interview Sami Zayn, she says, oh, wait, and actually cuts off talking to Sami Zayn while he's trying to celebrate his win. And she comes on with a smile on her face and says, I have a breaking news. It is confirmed that Brock Lesnar is returning next week on SmackDown. And then the camera gets over to Roman Reigns. He shoots a look over with Paul Heyman, and that is the show. That is the show. Sami Zayn, he gonna have a lot to talk about. I think that's what I take most out of this is, I've been waiting for a push for Sami Zayn, above that mid card that he's been at. And even if it's for a moment, this is a heel versus a heel technically. And it's still gonna work. Because that proves how over Roman Reigns is when he's paired against another heel. He is actually being treated as the babyface, and that's what's going to happen here. But I'm really stoked to get the war of words between Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really glad that the story came full circle with Kayla Braxton being able to announce, and confirm that the Brock Lesnar's suspension is lifted. Mr. Pierce. Mr. Adam Pierce, he's obviously not going to be happy. It said in an interview earlier that he didn't see that suspension coming up anytime soon, because we all remember what Brock did to Pierce. He absolutely destroyed him. But hey, that's what happens. It did set that up. This episode really was all about just really extending and pushing forward the Roman Reigns storyline. Everything else, lunchable break. I'm telling you. Tony Storm, my trash moments of the night. Tony Storm and her whipped cream to the face twice. Trash. Any Thanksgiving food involved in a match. Trash. Absolute trash. The Drew McIntyre match, with the pretty boys. Is it Los Lostarios? Is that what they're calling them? I actually have not remembered what their name is. No, the Drew McIntyre Jeff Hardy match versus Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss. Just trash. Because it was filler. There was nothing really of note to really push anything forward, but that is what we get this week, because it is Thanksgiving week. But hey, big returns next week. They're jumping right back into it. Not only do you have Brock Lesnar returning on Friday Night SmackDown, but over there on Raw, and it's going to be interesting how they do it, because the last match that Edge was in, he put down Seth Rollins, and now Seth Rollins is the number one contender for the title, and Edge is returning on Monday Night Raw. So, hey, two big returns coming up. You also have the returns of Mimi Burris. You also will have the return of everybody else from the podcast. Michael Ritter will be back next week as well, because, hey, I am only here for the celebrity shots. That's what I do. My name is the Krisis. I am the originator of the trash. Hashtag trash and the hashtag lunchable moments. And in case you're new, I'll explain it to you. The lunchable moments are those moments, because Lunchables make me happy. And if you haven't had one in a long time, they'll make you happy as well. So when I come to a moment, in a show where, some people take a smoke break, a bathroom break, this and that, I choose to go get me a Lunchable, and I just call it good. And trash, well, I don't really have to explain that. You get it. Food fighting in wrestling. Trash. Overall, I give this with a little leeway. I mean, I'm going to give this SmackDown, a C+, B-. It's definitely going to pick up next week. But hey, you have to review every show, and that's the beauty of professional wrestling is, compared to any other, series show that you watch is, hey, you're supposed to not like some shows. You're supposed to hate some things. You're supposed to criticize some things at the same time that you love some things or invested in some things. That is professional wrestling. Each show is a brand new episode, and it is a new chance to get invested, to get upset. And that is part of the product. That is why we are here, and that is why you and I watch professional wrestling. My name is The Krisis, and hey, I can't wait to be back with you guys again soon. I will be returning to the mailbag next week. I had to give some time off, since I'm already doing a couple reviews. I figured I'd I'd take a step away and, you know, give other people some shine. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, I mean it. Like, get in on the mailbag. It is my favorite episode of the week. You can call in, email, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. There's so many ways to get through, get onto that Patreon so that you can join the Discord server chat with the rest of us, WWE podcast family. We got people from Singapore. We got people from Australia, the East Coast, the West Coast. It's an absolute hoot, especially coming around pay-per-views, because while we're watching the pay-per-view, we're all talking about it live together. It can't do it so much on the Monday Night Raw and SmackDowns, because I personally am on the West Coast, so everybody else gets to see, most of the people on the East Coast, they get to see the show 3 hours earlier, so I have to actually avoid all and turn off all notifications, so I don't get no spoilers. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, like I said, my name's the Krisis. Anytime I do a show, pack a Lunchable, you know, and get ready to roll with me, because I'll always give you an honest opinion. I will watch every show live and make sure that I get you every bit of information I can. And, hey, if there's anything you don't agree with me with, if there's anything you think I could do better, hey, hit me up, you know, at State of Krisis, spell Krisis with a K, Krisis on Twitter. And, hey, let me know how I'm doing, because I love doing this, and I've really found a new passion, you know, as a former musician, touring artist, this and that. COVID really took a lot of my outlets away from me, and that's when I really dove back into wrestling, and I've stumbled into this WWE podcast family, and I gotta say, it was awesome to spend Thanksgiving with y'all, and I look forward to many, many more episodes with you. So, hey, hope your leftover turkey sandwich was good. I'm out. Have a good one, y'all.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.